Welcome to the Entrepreneur Podcast, a guide to fast casual fortunes. You got myself, Brandon, one of the co-hosts in here, Joe Collin.
What's going on, buddy?
What's up, man? Good seeing you again.
Likewise. Yeah, we're upgrading some things around here. We got a new camera.
You can see these mugs.
Yeah.
Way more clear, 4K.
It's unfortunate I can't hide back here anymore. And you might be able to see you wear a new shirt every day.
Every day, man. Number 3, I'm running out of options. But what's cool about this one? Hot off the press, and they are for sale.
Brand new.
Yep, we just got them. It's got a joke on the back that most people don't get. It says, it's got one conversation bubble saying, "Hey, Ninja, can you throw me a rap?" And the Ninja responds, "Sure, I can." Like a shuriken?
Yeah.
But yeah. Most people are like, what is that?
That's a cultural thing. The joke's not that good if you have to explain it. But.
Well, those who don't know, it's a Chinese throwing star. So
Yeah. Spell it right out.
Right, spell it out, guys. All right.
We should put that in parentheses.
We should. Sure, okay.
It's a Chinese throwing star. We get it's a Japanese concept, but Chinese throwing star. Whatever.
Hey, man, we're fusion.
Have fun.
We're fusion the cultures, bro.
Right. So, okay, we got number 3.
Yeah.
We've gone down. The first one was kind of the start, how we got rolling, some of the hiccups we had at the beginning, the middle where we're at now, and steps along the way that we took to get there.
And I think we're taking that natural progression, right? Where we're telling people, like, if you're going to start a food truck, where do you start? So we wanted to give you that deep dive, first of all, to see, like, how crazy our start was, for one. And everything's unexpected. Like, our expectations from the beginning, I mean, from the very beginning, this was a part-time thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Out of a tent,
Sound like something fun to do.
Yeah.
So that was the first one. The second one was our menu.
Yeah, our menu.
Coming up with a menu that's going to, fit your style, what you're planning on doing, make it a game plan around it, and, making sure that it can cater to what you want to do.
Yeah. And then this episode, we're going to be talking about selecting your unit, right? Which is still heavily debated. Yeah. I mean, now truck, trailer, what do you go with,
Yeah, that's, that is a big debate, and something that kind of rings to me when we think about this, that the food truck business is not super easy. Okay. It's not just, you don't just roll out of bed and nail it right off the bat. So there's challenges, and you're going to have mistakes. There's going to be things that come up. And one of the biggest things that scares me when people are doing this is when they go out and spend $40,000-$50,000 on a brand new, beautiful unit, and they don't even really have an understanding of what's going on yet.
Yeah. And, you may think that doesn't happen, but I've literally had a guy come up to me and say, "Take a look at my beautiful truck." And it was brand new. And he's like, "Yeah, so I'd like some advice on, what do you think I should sell?" And I'm like, "Really? You got this beautiful unit and you don't know what you're selling?" So
that's scary.
That is very scary.
The truck is what he's selling.
Yeah.
Next week at a great discount. Come find it. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah. So we're taking this natural progression to see what we want to answer questions as you're diving into this business. You're going to be picking your units, but with units comes logistics, right? How am I setting this up? It comes licensing.
Yep.
Licensing is going to be different for each unit. Just if you go up, the first thing you should do is speak to your health department, right?
Yeah, that's a good start.
Yeah.
We have a really good relationship with our health department. I think the guy probably maybe has your number blocked. It is, a lot of people are afraid of a health department. They're like, they're the spooky people, but there can be your teammate too. Those are the guys you want to bring them some samples.
Yeah. Bring them some love, man. And, and every place is different. I ran into a hiccup myself. Is one of the very first things we started with, and we're going to get into that, is a tent.
Yeah.
But the second thing we started with was a cart, right? Do you remember we did a custom cart?
I do remember the cart.
Open concept. Dude, it worked out nice. Like, think about our tent unit. What we had to do. We had to set that bad boy up. We had to bring a utility trailer that had a fridge and a freezer on it. Yeah. We had to haul a separate hot dog cart.
That's pretty bad. We had like 5 different trucks for this.
Dude. Oh my goodness. We had to bring a hot dog cart, okay, because part of your SOPs, your standard operating procedures, you have to have, for your licensing, you have to have fresh water.
Yeah.
Right. And so that has to come from somewhere. You have to have wash, rinse, sanitize, and you have to have your hand washing station.
Hot water.
You have to have hot water. So
there's ways to get creative with that. You can, if you have a way to cook the water, or if you have an on-demand water heater.
Yeah. So we were using a hot dog cart for that. And then you have to have your gray water tank. You have to know where you're disposing it. So there's kind of a lot you're getting into even with a tent setup. But with our cart, our cart actually put everything into one.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to haul 3 different
easy
units.
We thought that was. We rolled up. We're like, good.
Yeah,
this is simple.
Yeah. So we built these custom carts. They had our storage unit or a cold holding.
It was a yard cart that I had
utility.
You know what it was? When I started the hot dog stand like 10 years ago, maybe longer ago now, it was the trailer we used to haul the hot dog cart.
It was?
Yeah.
That's awesome. It was like a landscaping trailer.
Yeah. I got turned. You know what, though? That was a cool trailer we turned into. My buddy Joe, he's a welder, and he welded some sides on it.
We had doors.
Yeah.
Tonneau cover for the top.
We mounted like a $2,000 grill flat top.
Yeah, 2000. Yeah,
the flat top was more than the whole cart. Yeah.
So you could stand outside of it and cook. Yeah. And it was a really cool concept. In fact, we've had people want to order these because they're so versatile. You can do so many things with it. And this is where I was going with this: is that we had a guy from Florida order one, and he was going to do kebabs, and we set it up. We put a deep fryer in there. It was beautiful. It had it wasn't a griddle. It had the charbroiler. Had a charbroiler and all their equipment. But then you get down to Florida, and you talk to them about their health departments, and they would only license that for special events.
Right. It was but I forgot what the reasoning was. It was something to do with the fire code, right?
Yeah, something to do with the fire code. Yeah, we had a fire resistant umbrella. Because you do have to have that too. But yeah, something with the fire code, they would only allow it for special events. So first place you need to start before you do anything is talk to your health department.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to make sure that you have all your ducks in a row.
Yeah.
And they'll educate you on, they're here to honestly help. They want to make things smooth too. They have a lot on their plate. They don't want to spend time fixing mistakes.
Yeah.
So they'll explain SOPs to you, kind of what you need to have. And so they're a great resource.
Yeah. You're looking at plan reviews. You got to set up your opening and inspections, and then your standard operating agreements, which now it's changed a lot. So now they give you paperwork to fill out, but just remember each city's, each health department's gonna be different. It can even be in the same state. And I've noticed some things that are slightly different. So start there, guys. And when you're thinking about your unit, and a tent is the cheapest way to go.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to maybe start this as a hobby, get out there, just maybe you want to do a couple events a year, get a tent and a flat top, and you're almost in business.
Yeah. I mean,
you can try out some different things that way.
And I've even seen some people use fryers.
You know what I'm jealous of?
Who?
The guys that have 5 fryers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, fryers.
All they do is French fries.
Yeah.
And they probably bang out $10,000 in a weekend, and they load up their 4 fryers and leave.
Yeah. And I mean, then you're dealing with grease and other things too. Yeah. So those things I think about too. But yeah, so when you're selecting your unit, I always say if you can do it, start with the cheapest operation and go from there. But then you're looking at a trailer or a truck, right?
Well, and yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I'm torn on this because that is very nice. That you don't have a lot of overhead. You don't have a pressure to perform right off the bat. But, maybe that will slow you down. If there's something you're diving in head first and you're going to be all in, maybe making a small investment that you're comfortable with can put you ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
We definitely started slow and steady.
Yeah.
The old adage is that wins the race, but and it's the way we had to go.
Yeah.
But for some people, they might be able to start a little bit further ahead.
Yeah, yeah.
They might be able to be where we were year 3, year 1.
Exactly. So what do you think? So what's your idea?
I'm torn.
Trailer?
There's we've run into every complication possible. Just put it out there. Some people want to go, I need a 20-foot barbecue trailer. It's going to be huge, have a deck in the back. Okay, now you need a vehicle that can handle hauling that all the time. 20-foot trailer like that's going to weigh 10,000 pounds. So that's another thing that you might not think about.
Yeah.
We mentioned it before too. If you're going to have a unit that big and you want to not maybe work it all the time, you want to have employees, are people going to be comfortable with driving something like that? So that has some complications also. Trucks, very nice, right? You have a truck, everything's there. You drive the location, open the door, you're good. Until that engine doesn't start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now you
have
a really expensive paperweight.
And my challenge is in this answer is also the event organizers, because I've been a part of events. They only want trucks.
Yep.
Because they have to deal with the setup, and they want people unhooking their vehicles, pulling in, pulling out, having to move vehicles to set up.
Which when you do those, I remember when we did Detroit River Days.
Yep. That's what I'm thinking.
The first one there. And I waited 6 hours for everybody else to load in. I was so mad.
Because we had a trailer.
Yeah. And I get it now, watching a they're thinking we had a cart. I mean, I could have picked the thing up and moved it, but they're thinking a truck's going to come in. They're going to slow everybody down. So that is something to consider.
And then I talked to my friends. I have a celebrity chef friend in California that's opening up a unit, and he asked me the same question. But he also said that in the state of California, 90% of the events, they recommend trailers. They prefer trailers over trucks. But for the reason that you kind of touched on is if you're there and your truck don't start.
Oh yeah, now you're really causing a problem.
You're stranded at the event.
Getting a wrecker in there.
Yeah, 100%. And so they wanted to be able to detach, and you can have the mobility of a trailer. So yeah, that's where I'm tossed too is, and also you got to think about who's driving it.
Yeah.
Are they going to be more comfortable pulling a trailer and you got to take those wide angles? Or are they going to be more comfortable driving a big truck?
Yeah. Well, you know, if it's going to be owner operator situation, you have to figure out your own level of comfort with that as well.
Yeah.
Growing up, I mean, my dad would pretty much yell at me on a weekly basis, loading a boat in the water. So not everybody has that experience with trailers.
But,
so yeah, that is something.
It took me a long time to get used to it.
Yeah,
too.
That was,
about 3 years.
This is back to the daddy comment before. That was some frustration on my end. But it was fun. Always a good laugh.
But yeah, I think it's going to be complete preference. Whether you guys choose a truck or a trailer, okay? I mean, I think that's what it's going to come down to. There's versatility in a trailer. You can disconnect. If something breaks down, your truck breaks down, like we've had trucks that wouldn't start before, and it's a lot more expensive to rent a wrecker to pull a food truck. And then also we've gotten away with some things, being able to rent trucks to pull our trailers from like home improvement stores.
I don't know if we should even has the time frame come up where we can talk about that?
I don't know. I don't think we're past our mark yet.
Check with your renting services if it's okay to tow with those units, and they won't beep at you nonstop.
Yeah. So we've been able to skate by and keep things going, and maybe not the most ideal situations, but
I will tell you this: if you have a tow vehicle break down, it is a heck of a lot easier to find something else to tow that trailer with than to find another food truck.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's something you can figure out in a day. We've figured out some stuff in some pinches.
Yeah.
Oh my God. We've had nights where we're here till like 3 or 4 in the morning. I want to throw a wrench at Brandon, but we are not missing the next day regardless.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, in a trailer, on a dual axle trailer, we had tire fly off on the highway. And somehow we got a trailer repair place.
We were like 2 miles away from a trailer repair place. What are the chances of that?
And we convinced them somehow to repair that for us, and we actually made it to our event on time. So by a miracle,
we were not missing this event.
Yeah,
we spend it was phone calls. We had all kinds of. It was a lot of jump through. So we go to the event and make like $500.
It was one of the worst events we've ever done. But that's our dedication, right? Too. I mean, we try not to. Yeah. You don't want to get that bad reputation as being the truck that they can't count on.
Yeah.
Because you won't get the big events, you won't get the private events, and people, word of mouth is bigger than anything.
We're going to be off track a little bit on the conversation here, but back to the food business being difficult. It is good to have these events, and there's something that are going to hold you accountable to go out and do it. If you're just going to the corner every day and selling stuff, you could go, well, I went out last night. I'm a little hungover. The baby's crying, whatever. You'll have a reason to not go out. But if you have an event and you told somebody you're going to be there, you're probably going to get yourself going.
Yeah.
So those are a really good thing to get yourself motivated.
And if you haven't noticed, the comments or the posts that have the most comments are the ones bashing other trucks, not the ones complimenting other trucks.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of negativity. I have a very hard time with that. So back to making these decisions, there can be again, truck or trailer, also the size of your unit, the kind of equipment you're going to use. This is why I love the way we started. By the time we got to a unit, we knew exactly what equipment we needed. And we knew where we could maybe save a couple dollars. Do we need a $3,000 freezer? Probably not. We have a chest freezer still on our small unit, and it works really well. It doesn't look beautiful. It's not a stainless steel freezer, but I haven't been able to sell any stainless steel freezers at any of our events yet. So it looks good, but our new unit's all stainless steel. I mean, every bit of it, and we haven't sold anything out of it yet. So
and that's one place that too, like we've bought trailers in the past that we've tried to make work towards our flow. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We've tried to make it work, and we got good deals on them and things like that.
So frustrating.
It is frustrating. So, I mean, if you can try to avoid shortcuts,
yeah.
you know.
Well, I thought about this the other day. I'm not sure. I'm sure there is somebody, but I think I've probably owned more food units.
Yeah.
Than probably anybody in the state.
I believe it, man.
I've had like 6 hot dog stands.
we just in our group, we just posted, and you said funny story. All of you guys have owned one of our units.
Yeah,
do you remember that?
Yeah.
And so
because we'd get something, and it goes back to your flow, right? So if you have to spend an extra 1 minute every time you're taking food off the grill going to the other end of the unit, that adds up really fast, and that's slowing you down. That's costing you money. So that money you saved up front is going to cost you, in the long run. So definitely be thoughtful when you're putting these together. Maybe have a couple dry runs, know how your flow is going to go. Know back to your menu, what kind of products are you going to carry? Do you need to have a lot of refrigeration? Do you need to have a lot of freezer space? These are all things that you want to have some forethought on. You don't want to figure that out when you're at an event.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing. That's the last thing you want to do is be, and with the licensing and the health department, your inspections and everything else. The last thing you want is something to stop operating, to be shut down after you paid the fees, after you've gotten set up, after you've made the plans. I mean, we've been very close a lot of times, and we've also had equipment stop working. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and that's because a lot of times we were taking shortcuts on the type of equipment we were using.
You can save yourself a chunk of money here and there, but it a lot of times costs you in the end.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm torn. The way we serve was great, or if you spend all the money and get all the best equipment, no, you're not going to have problems. You're probably still going to have problems. So you're still in the same boat. Our brand new unit, the gas didn't work when we got to our first event.
Yep. The propane line. One thing I will say though is what I recommend is the where to start. The number one place to start is whatever you can do the quickest, right?
Yeah.
If you can afford a tent set up tomorrow,
get started.
You're
right. Yeah.
If you can afford a food truck, get started. If you can afford a trailer, get whatever you can afford that your budget allows, get started, guys. Because we discussed this. How much are you losing if it takes a year to build your food truck?
Yeah. Yep. That's a very good point with that. That's if you're going to save for 5 years to build the best unit, you just lost 5 years of income and 5 years of learning.
Yeah.
And 5 years of, you probably will change how you want to do stuff, 3 or 4 times in that midterm anyways. So yeah, I love that. Get started.
Yeah. Get started, guys. And so, as far as units goes, I mean, that's really what I have advice for. I mean, is there anything else you think we should touch on for the units themselves?
No, just really plan ahead. Know your products.
Yeah.
Really understand the equipment you're going to need. If you're just getting into this, the cool thing with the food businesses or the food truck business is you don't have to be a professional chef. You don't have to be a professional cook to get into this, but you'll want to know some basics. You don't want to be getting the wrong cook equipment.
Yeah.
It's not going to work with your idea. So, know what you're getting into, know your products that you're going to be selling, know the equipment you're going to need for it, and plan accordingly.
Yeah.
We talked about in the first episode, our smaller trailer is probably everybody's favorite.
Yeah. It is 10-footer.
Yeah. 10-foot trailer. It's tight.
I wish we could show you the inside.
You get real friendly with who you're working with.
I don't think me and Joe are going to be cooking on that trailer.
we would not be able to get by each other.
No, we wouldn't.
No, we get real cozy. But that honestly is probably the best setup we have.
It's within arm's reach. You can reach pretty much anything that you need to serve. And our guys love it. Everybody can hear, what's being ordered and what's being done. The communication
it's easy in every way.
Yeah.
Like that trailer, we could move that trailer if we needed to.
Yeah, yeah.
If it's on the ground, we could roll it. There's a ton of upside to it.
There is, yeah.
But that's not going to work for everybody. I get that, but don't go way over the top, I guess is a really good point too. A lot of people. I have a friend right now that's starting a pizza trailer, and he called me. He's like, "Hey, I'm looking at this one that's 22 foot." I'm like, "Oh, cut 8 off of it."
Yeah.
Jeez, you do not need that much. You need a pizza oven and a spot to roll your dough and put toppings on. So, understand what you're getting into. don't overdo it, but do it as right as you can off the bat.
Yeah. And doing these podcasts too, we were talking about how long these are going, and we were thinking about splitting them up into 15-minute segments. Yep. But so I don't know if I should ask this, or maybe this will be our part 2.
You already did.
We already did. We're going. When do you go to the next unit?
Ooh, yeah, that's good. When do you make the decision? Well, I remember when we had an event set up, and neither one of us could do it. We're like, we're going to need people.
Yeah.
We had a couple people that were working with us. We were like, we're going to have to let them go by themselves.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, I think
that was a fight.
We were rolling. And ultimately, we let the reins loose. And we said, it will be what it will be. And it turned out to be the best decision I think we've made in this business.
Yeah. Because at that moment, we were like, what do we want to be? Do we want to always be on these, or is this our limitation? Do we want to only grow to the point that me and you can handle it, or do we want to trust someone else, and continue to expand this thing?
Yep.
That was a tough conversation.
It was a pivotal moment with the business. We need to decide. We need to make that decision if we were comfortable with that, and if that's what our game plan was. And ultimately, that's kind of what set us forth with what we're doing now. That kind of made us full time.
Yeah.
We were very part time before that. But yeah, the second unit, something I would say with that, don't get that unit just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
I think we did that.
Yeah.
We found a good deal. We got a unit, and it sat around a lot.
Yeah, 100%.
So, if you can staff it, if you can have it out there, you've already proved that you're successful. Probably a good idea.
Yeah.
But you want a lot of things in line first.
Well, and so somebody asked me this question actually, and I'm going to tell you guys the same thing I told them. How do you know when you need to go to the next unit? I say it's purely based on demand.
Yep.
When we were getting calls and emails and requests to set up, and I had to keep turning them down because we were already booked. And then I saw how much money we were potentially losing. That's when we said, okay, maybe we should get the second unit because we have the opportunity to keep it booked. You know what I mean?
When we got to the point that I told you, there's no way I can have our messenger on my phone any longer because it is going nonstop. 12 at night, 1 in the morning. I'm like, what is going on? That was the time we go, okay, we need some help. We need more units. But I think I'm kind of the opinion you push that as far as you can.
Yeah.
Because you potentially double your income, sure, but you quadruple your problems.
Yeah. It
becomes, okay, now you have another unit that's always going to have other people running it. Okay, what if Steve can't show up that day? What if you have both of them booked and one unit goes down? You really do, every time you add another unit, you really you quadruple what you have that could go wrong.
And now, I mean, you brought up a good point. Like, so now we always try to keep a backup unit. Yeah, so even for your trailers, like
we have backup generators, backup tow units, backup.
Yeah. So you got to worry about that backup because there will be a point in time when this breaks down and you may be losing the biggest event of your year. So you have to be ready for that. And that's the things that, we pushed things to the max. I would say 2020 was the year that we had 2 units running 6-7 days a week. Our staff was nonstop. And if anything broke down, we were in trouble.
If you could look at back of the year and you could tell me, I'll give you $1 million to do that again, I want to do it.
Yeah.
It was a nightmare.
The whole year was a nightmare. Yeah.
Every day was fixing problems.
And that's because I set it up. I mean, we set it up that way, like mostly me, because I took everything possible.
We figured out our limit though.
Yeah, we did.
We figured out what was possible and what we could do. And to never do that again.
Yeah, exactly. and now, it really taught us how to book events and, the right questions to say ask, what to say no to, the right questions to ask. So
we'll do a whole segment on this, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Believe no event organizer. Find a food truck group that you can trust. Find a mentor, somebody in the food truck business, and ask them what the events are like.
Yeah.
A food truck guys will know what events are like. Food truck organizers, event organizers, they're like the people with the ugly baby. They will tell you that thing is beautiful. And you're looking at it going, I don't know. They will tell you it's the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, that's true.
And we got bamboozled so many times.
We did. Yeah, we lost a lot of money. And that's the whole reason we're starting this podcast, guys, is because we want you guys to learn from our hiccups, from all the money we spent, you know what I mean? Like, and when you're looking to build out a unit, Don't go to the guy that you met at a restaurant that says he has a manufacturer license. And
oh my gosh, when he says I have a whole facility to build these things, and you're at the restaurant, and he points across the street, and it's the dilapidated garage.
And a single,
be signed to run.
Oh, don't worry, I'm building.
I'm at 9.
I'm at 9. Yeah.
So I think it was stage 1 of development.
So trust your instincts, because I mean that was a very expensive. I mean that's $15,000-$20,000 mistake we made. Just to be upfront.
$15,000-$20,000 in actual cost.
Yeah, money out of our pocket.
But how about a year of lost time?
Yeah.
What was that? We were booking events for this darn thing.
Yeah.
We're calling this guy on the daily going, hey, bud, new events first events next week. Do you have a hood unit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the bad thing is we had that money, we had that time loss, and then we had it all be ripped out, whatever he did do.
You know what?
Because it wasn't right.
This is a great segue. I don't even think we intended on this, but when you make this decision, if you're going to buy a used unit or if you're going to get one made from fresh, I think a used unit might be the better way to go. It's established. If it has a stamp on it that the health department approved it, you're good. For the most part, if it's from scratch, it's going to take time.
A lot of time. Yeah.
I mean, 6 months
at least. Yeah.
And you have to find a reputable builder.
Yeah.
That is very important.
It is. That is the most important thing. I mean, you got to make sure that you find.
We could do a whole segment on.
We could do a whole segment on building.
We're at 30 minutes
and building out a unit. Yeah, because guys, we've ran into so many problems.
Yeah. I would say we don't do this or haven't done this very well. Have a contract in place. Yeah. Have a very clear understanding between you and the builder of what is expected, what you want, and
deadlines.
Deadlines.
Yeah.
That's a whole segment.
That is, yeah. So, but that's part of choosing a unit. If you find a guy
that's wearing pigtails and has a production facility that looks like lean-to, you should probably run.
Run, guys. Yeah. So that's a battle we're still fighting.
I think we bought him the lunch.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah,
yeah. And he still has some of our equipment. And then we're talking 2 years ago.
I went to lunch at that restaurant the other day. My wife and I love that restaurant. And I'm sitting there staring out the window at our generator, just fuming.
This is 2 years ago.
$5,000 sitting right there. I just wanted to lose it. But.
And it's hard, and it's a lesson learned, an expensive lesson, but guys, really reputable, like it all goes back to not cutting corners, right? Try not to cut corners in any way you can. It may be, if you can't afford it, start smaller, guys.
That's great.
Don't cut corners, because start making money right away. And I promise you, if you're making money with a smaller unit, you're going to be able to build up and get the unit you want.
Yeah.
So start where you can.
It takes time. It's back to, this business is not easy, right? If you talk to anybody that's been in a while, they've had some headaches, but the headaches are a lot easier to recover from.
Yeah.
When you don't have to pay a $2,000 bill.
Yeah. 100%. So that's what I got, guys.
Where can they find us?
Hey man, if you guys found this valuable, please subscribe. Subscribe to it. We're on Apple, Amazon, iHeartRadio, Spotify. We also now have a YouTube channel. We also have our Entrepreneur page. That's for anybody to track our podcast. We have an entrepreneur group that is for Michigan food trucks only, where we can be completely transparent and share any of our stories and help you guys out. But yeah, we really appreciate if you guys find any of this valuable. Please leave us feedback. We're willing to take that and implement it. We're willing to use it and try to get better and figure out better ways that we can serve you guys. So, we really appreciate you guys listening and appreciate the support. And we hope we can continue to give you guys some good info.
Have a good one.
See ya.